Imagine if the death of Oscar Grant was captured from the eyes of his murderer. I define an effective true crime film as a movie that revisits a crime from the point of view of the victim, humanizes them, gives voice to their loved ones, and spreads needed awareness. In this video, I'm going to talk about what I do and don't think makes Fruitvale Station and Charlie Says effective true crime cinema, and discuss the recurring flaws I see in true crime today. When creating these films, we have to remember that these are real people's stories. They aren't characters. The crimes committed happened in real life, so we can't treat Charles Manson and his accomplices like they're the Joker or Cruella de Vil. When we place more importance on humanizing the villains, we take the power away from their victims. We need to make it clear whose story is more important. One reason why I typically prefer documentaries over dramatized true crime is because of the graphic murder scenes. I truly don't understand the purpose of recreating these tragedies. I think it's highly insensitive to the victims' families. Of course, there are some exceptions, like Fruitvale Station, where the family is involved and gives the okay. But even in the case of that movie, I didn't think it was necessary, because most cop killings brought to the public's attention nowadays are recorded and put on the internet for everyone to see, uncensored. Reenacting the very moment in which a victim is stripped of ownership over their body doesn't honor them. Recently, I watched an incredibly powerful film, Amber, the Girl Behind the Alert. It fits all my criteria for being a great true crime documentary. It allowed Amber's family to celebrate her life and express their grief. It also honored her legacy that is now the nationwide alert that informs people of kidnappings nearby. I truly, truly recommend it because it's a masterpiece. Personally, I will always favor true crime that prioritizes the experience of the victims and their loved ones over the perpetrator's perspective. But if you are to make a film from the perspective of the killer, highlight what has happened to them in the past that led them to commit crime. If they've been abused at some point and that pushed them over the edge, show that. This can also inspire change. This will expose the root of the problem. You'll basically be telling the audience, this is how murderers are made, let's try to keep this from happening again. This is what Charlie Says does right. But be careful not to water down the impact of the murderer's actions. This can be tricky though, because it can confuse the audience on what your intentions are. It's difficult to avoid making the perpetrator's crimes look somewhat excusable, so it's best to do this in conjunction with the victim's story. The girl in the picture does a perfect job of giving voice to the victim's family and friends for the majority of the movie, but also showcases the abuse that led her murderer to become who he was. It doesn't rid him of consequences, but it still reinforces that hurt people hurt people. When done right, a true crime movie can be a tribute to those lost, inspire audience members to be more vigilant, encourage advocacy, and give insight on what drives people to abuse others. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's an effective true crime film to you?